Hello, listeners. Welcome to our third episode of our brand new sixth season of Mind Your Business podcast. My name is Mia Gomez.
My name is Daniel Mata, and we will be the host for this episode. We want to give a special shout out to Studio G, powered by the Mike Loya Center of Innovation and Commerce, where we help current UTEP students and alumni grow their own businesses. Be your own boss.
In today's episode, we have Derek Gonzalez with us. Thank you
Hi.
so much for coming and
course.
accepting our invitations.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of
Appreciate you
course.
so much.
And he is going to be sharing with you all his entrepreneurial journey as a student entrepreneur. So, welcome, Derek.
Thank you. Thank you. No, I'm so honored to be here. It's one of the first podcasts. Actually, my brother and I were planning on making one.
Oh,
But
that's
I'll tell you
great.
guys about it later. I know it's about the story, but yeah, we're trying to make one for actually business kind of thing, but a little more industry focused. But
Awesome.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
welcome.
Thank
That's
you,
pretty
thank
cool.
you.
And just to give our listeners a couple background of who you are, can you tell us what are your hobbies and who even are you?
Yeah. So I was again, my name is Derek Gonzalez, right? I was born and raised in Juarez. Came here when I was 11 years old, right? And no English. It was a process until some difficulties came in throughout high school, and in college we always speak about later. But thankfully, I was able to be in here and be able to have this ambition and this hunger of entrepreneurship, right? Because the goal is to not just be your own boss or make money. It's to have the freedom, right? Freedom and to give back to the people that gave you when they didn't believe in you. I'm sorry, went through much about it, but yeah, my hobbies are I love hiking a lot. I like to go out and hike on my brother's dog, and I like watching a lot of business and sales videos. I love sales. I think it's the best industry ever. Um, and yeah, I mean, just spending time with my family and being able to, of course, go out and network. Network is a huge part of me and my day-to-day basis. Yeah.
That's amazing. And I have to ask you, what's your favorite trail here in El Paso?
So that's funny because if someone says I love hiking, I would know every single trail. I've only gone to Huecotangs and of course the Franklin Mountains. The ¿cómo se llama? The one in New Mexico, el Cruz. What is it called?
Cristo Rey?
Cristo Rey, that
Oh,
one.
awesome.
But I like a lot of the Franklin and the cave. I think it's pretty fun, not too extreme. Although my brother and I one time try to go up top of it, and it took us like an hour to go down. It was like this like 10 foot. It wasn't that much, but it was really steep. I even made a post about it on my Instagram. But yeah, I love hiking a lot.
That's amazing. I love hiking too. I tried the cave one and I almost died.
Yeah.
So I'm still training, but it's good to know
Yeah.
that you like them too. And with that being said, I loved how you expressed yourself about what entrepreneurship is and your
Yes.
experience. Just to dig a little bit deeper, can you tell the audience what project or business you're currently working on?
Yeah, I don't want to sound too, oh, I'm doing a lot of stuff. I want to make more focused, but so I started with my brother, right? My brother, he's a corporate videographer and commercial videographer, and we started doing quinceañeras and weddings first. Well, when I was like 13 years old, when I was 12, he was like 18, 17. We started going to quinceañeras, taking pictures, printing them and selling for $5. They kicked us out so many times. They even took us money so many times. But there was this night that we earned $200, and that's what he used to make when he was a Whataburger, right? And I was like, man, this is just one night, like imagine. So, and that was like 12, 13-year-old me. So that's when I was like, okay, there's actual money out there, right? Um, so I was saying this because that's where the ambition came in, right? I was like, there's so much potential. So started growing the business with my brother, left him alone, focused in school. And then actually a year and a half ago, I started working in a law firm. And they had this hobby of making business plans out of nowhere. Just making the structure, making business plans, knowing about business, right? And then at this law firm, they made me do business plans and looking for licenses for businesses. So once I was with my brother, I was like, hey, like I know how to structure your business. Like we're doing good, but people are not paying you, right? You're not going to your market. You don't have a sales tax certification where you uh, charging with tax. Like like there's so many stuff that we have to do. Like let's get together. We got together, started doing sales, and the company eventually doubled, which was good. And then right now that's my current project, which is making contracts with my brother with big companies. I mean, we work with Amistad, we work with CAA, which is the marketing company for AT&T, UMC Foundation. It's just contracts, right? It's the best thing ever. I also do marketing with this guy called Ruben Alvarez. He's known in social media, and I thought it was in California, but he made this video once, and he might eventually, when you guys post it, I want to show it to him because it's gonna be funny. So he posted a video saying that just because you're a good videographer doesn't mean you're a good marketer, and I got really triggered, really, because my brother was my mentor, right? My brother was the best at business, marketing, videos. Like that was the man I look up to, right? Um, and when he said that, I was like, what do you mean? Like we're marketing good, we're doing good. So I texted him, and we're going back and forth about like what marketing is, what videography is, and eventually he said that he needed someone in sales. Um, Turned out to be good. We're doing a conference right back in July last year. Um, Started selling tickets, sponsorships, everything went well. So right now I'm also focusing on marketing with them, and the same thing, getting clients, closing contracts, keeping our clients. That's two that I'm helping, right? I did my own thing several, what is it, like a month and 2 weeks ago. This is where like, okay, I can help people, but it's time to do something for me, right?
Right.
Like it's time to make something that I can do myself and hopefully grow it. So I just did a small thing. We made an event at the Chihuahua Stadium for marketing. It was for business owners only, and we hired this guy that has a 360 photo booth, right? And I told him, hey, how much do you charge? And he was like, only $50 an hour. Like, oh, cool. And how does it go? Do you get with money a week? He said, no, only like two or three. And I was like, okay, cool. How do you post them? How do you people know about it? Only Facebook. I just post on Facebook. And I was like, if he gets two or three a week only posting in Facebook, and I work with a marketing company, and I work with my brother who's a videographer, there's a lot of potential, right? Started making an Instagram account. I started sub hiring people and make my own brand in social media for the photo booth, which I'll let you guys know which one it is, so you guys can let me know whenever you guys need it. And started giving giveaways, just make it known, and eventually, that was the first month was my best month. I got 4 to 5. Was it like close clients a week for a month, and I charged 150 an hour, and it was really good. Right now it's starting to slow down a little bit. It's one or two a week, which is still totally cool. But it's something that is on my own, right? I bought it on my own. I was like, you know what? I'll just invest the money and see what happens because I have the resources. And I know one thing that I really recommend is when you invest the money, make sure it's not just out of your pocket, something that you're able to risk it. And if you can risk it and you know how to, and you have the resources who can help you, then it's a no-brainer, right? Just do it. So yeah, those are the 3 projects right now. There's a nonprofit that I'm trying to make, but I'll talk about it later.
Awesome. And I want to touch base on this because I do follow you on social media.
Yes.
And I always see your motivational videos, which I find really
Thank
cool.
You. Thank you.
And Daniel, you have to follow him and watch them because they're pretty impressive, honestly.
Thank you
And
so much.
for me, that's good marketing.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, there's a social media people. What happens is that what I've noticed and what I've known from my experience is that when they use social media to get clients, right? Which is
Right.
the best way you can use social media because it's we actually had an event at the chamber right now with marketing, and it was a marketing event, a panelist, and one thing I caught from there was people use social media a lot to get clients. When they get mad when they don't turn into when they don't monetize, right? People see you, people like it, but where's the money at? Right. So that's when you gotta know exactly what each platform's for, right? Instagram, TikTok, just to get known, right? They get to know you, they get to like you, you show your lifestyle because you gotta know what your message is, right? On my Instagram, if you would look at it like 4 months ago, I used to follow like 4,000 people and only had like 200 followers. I only have 1,500 right now followers, right? But I transitioned my whole account, right? Why? Because my social media, it's not intended to drive sales. It's intended to get credibility, right? If you see my page, I only have like 9 videos of myself, making videos about business, marketing, stuff like that, sales. But it's not so people can say, "Oh, I look up to Derek," it's for people to know, like, "Hey, this is what I really am doing in El Paso." That's all. I can be posting more, right? But all I need is people to get to my account, see me, and be like, "Okay, that's who he is." If they want to look more down, totally fine. But the usage is for me to get credibility. Why? Because I'm gonna drive sales in Facebook. Because Facebook, on the other hand, especially in El Paso, it's where people monetize, right? If my I don't know, if I want to clean my carpet, where do I go to? If I want to buy some furniture, I go to Facebook, right? So marketplace, it's a huge thing right now. So Facebook people monetize. Like I do this thing. It's like, hey, Ruben actually taught me, just post on Facebook. Hey, who needs a website? I was like, man, but I don't have any followers on Facebook. Okay, then follow them. So I started looking business owners, not just business owners, people that will buy my service, right? So you gotta know who you're following. So I make that post, like it, share their post, make a little message. Hey, you know what? Nice to meet you. And then you see that you don't have a website. You're gonna post in your feed. Hey, who needs a website? I do websites. Eventually, they'll look at it. They'll ignore you. Maybe they will get you, but weeks later, you can say, "Hey, who needs a website?" And then they will be like, "Okay, I know this guy." And then you'll message you. So you gotta know what the platform is. LinkedIn is a whole different story. LinkedIn is just to get executives and to get to trust you and know you. And then you can turn LinkedIn into a coffee, and then eventually a meeting with your team, and then close them as a sale. But each platform has their own thing.
I love that. Thank you for explaining
Yeah,
that.
no, that's
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check you out after this.
Appreciate
We'll
you.
put your socials up in the screen
thank you,
too.
thank you.
And you did all of this while you were a student here at UTEP, right?
Yeah, so I don't want to make this sad, but so what happened is that I know people don't know this, right? But I was undocumented since I got here from 10 years old to 11 years old, right? And not just my family, like my dad and my brothers. No, it was more like people around me, like my other side of the family would say, "There's no way you can go to college. There's no way." Right? My dad was an HR manager for 25 years in Juarez, and he came here, and I saw him washing restaurants or whatever, like, right? And he was like, "If I couldn't do it, you can't do it." My dad, he studied so much, read a lot of books, super smart guy, and he told me, "If I couldn't do it, you can't do it." That was the worst thing ever, right? Um, I eventually looked for ways on how to get money, right? I The first year in college, I was able to be a permanent resident, thank God. But in that year, I was like, how am I gonna do it, right? What do people do? So I started doing research. Um, there's scholarships, there's fellowships, there's competitions, right? Which was why I went to Blackstone at first, and there's so many ways, right? And I really don't like, and I say this because I don't like when I told someone, "Hey, come to this event, get to know this business owner. Um, you can get a job or offer, you can make your business." And they're like, "No, you know what? I work today." "Oh, really?" "Yeah, I work. How much?" 2 or 3 hours, but I work today. I can't. I'm busy." I'm like, man, there's missing so many opportunities that I wish I had if I was in your shoes, right? So I learned this um, sense of discipline when I started being a student, because I was like, okay, I need to get to school. I was able to get a scholarship, thank God. And I was like, well, how do I get money now? So many resources, competitions, all this stuff. And I was like, okay, I can really get my scholarship, make my scholarship down, right? And people that know me, because we have our own group too of this. It's called the Dream the US Scholarships. Um, and I wanted to make people look up to me, right? I was like, okay, if I was able to make it, I earned like $16,000 in a year, which is not that much, but it is much when you don't work full time or part time, right? That was only fellowships, scholarships and competitions. $16,000 on just looking for stuff, right? Every single day looking for opportunities. Became a resident. I was like, I don't even know what to do because I know all the resources there are that I don't even know where to start, right? So, and I say this based on your question because yes, even if you're a student, if you're working, you can do it. There's no way you say you don't have time or you don't have the resources or you don't know where to or it's too much money. Hey, I got paid to be in school, like not because of my grades. My grades were pretty bad. I didn't like to be in school. I had to learn and to be disciplined, right? They paid me $37,000 based on an essay, and they give me a stipend every single semester, right? So yeah, you can be a student and you can do organizations, you can do competitions, you can work, you can do all this. It's just a matter of organizing your time, right? Not like, oh my God, I only have 24 hours. It's like, okay, I have 24 hours. What can I do in 6 hours? Okay, do this. I'm gonna be in school for in the morning. 12 to 3, I'm gonna a break, maybe an hour on break, and that's a lot. And just maybe like 1 hour researching what I can do to get more money. Maybe the other hour I'm gonna be ahead of school, right? Okay, from 3 to 8, maybe I can work, right? Making up the schedule, but it's just dividing, time blocking, right? There's so many things you can do. You just have to organize it and be able to know how to do it. There's always a way.
And I have to say, Derek, your story is truly inspiring. And
Thank
trust
you.
me, you are being right now in the podcast the voice to those who might not like know that they can do it like you did. So that's truly inspiring. And thank you.
No,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much for sharing your
Of
story.
course, always.
With that being said, Derek, I wanted to ask you. So, as you might know, this podcast is sponsored by the Mike Loya Center for Innovation and Commerce
Mhm.
and also the programs that we have within the center, which is Studio G and Blackstone. And I've known that you participate continuously in those programs. So, I would like for you to share with the audience how has been like your experience with the programs. What have you
Yeah,
learned?
a lot of stuff. I always say, even if you know by experience or by work or by the books you read, by the videos you watch, there's still room for mentorship, right? And I say that because when I got into Blackstone and I knew about it, that was the time I was looking for ways to get involved in school, how to get certifications, because I promised myself whenever I become a resident, um, I promised myself not to work in the food industry, not to do that, because I saw my parents, I saw my brothers, and I was like, I'm never gonna do this, right? So it's what can I do so I can be ahead of people, not as into winning over, but I also like in time frame. Okay, when I graduate, I want to have a good job, right? I want to have money. I want to be someone. So this is when I started looking into. So I found Blackstone Launchpad, and I was at the 3 day competition in 2021. The startup, the 3 day startup day competition, uh, and we were winners of we were making a nonprofit, a business plan. We got a $500, and I was like, wow, that's cool. And then when I saw the page, I was DoubleTree and all this. Wait, it's not DoubleTree, Linktree. My bad.
Linktree, yes.
I'm so sorry. When I saw that, I was like, okay, there's so many things you guys do, right? So many things, and like I said, I earned $16,000. I feel like 12,000 of them was just in Blackstone.
Wow, that's
That's crazy. Yeah.
incredible.
And it's just 2 years. And that was doing competitions outside on small things, just $100, $50 here and there. Um, so it really impacted me and it showed me a lot of workshops that you guys do, amazing workshops. And the canvas, for example, the business plan, it's super amazing, a great guide for people that have no idea about business. It's great, and I learned it and I use it a lot, right? Because like I said, I used to do a lot of business plans, and when I got here, and that's when my first comment came in, I was like, I don't need that. Like, I know how to make a business plan. But then I was like, okay, make your pitch in a minute. I was like, whoa, I need to search all the certificate on the, and you don't need that, because investors, and I've seen it in real life, investors, they just need to know three things, right? Who are you? Not as in, oh, I came from Paris. No. It's, what do you do? I do marketing and sales. Cool. How? What do you know? Oh, well, I know this about your company that can benefit you. And three, how can you monetize that for me? Right? Three things. They don't want to know your story, how many kids you want, where you go to school, what you studied. They want to know what skills do you have, right? So, and that's one of the questions that you mentioned about. But I think you told me about networking. It's huge, but yeah, I mean, Blackstone has been an amazing program that I really recommend to people, even people that have gone through my story too. I recommend them, hey, go to Blackstone and learn from them, because even if you want to be a teacher, if you want to be a nurse, if you want to be, I don't know, an accountant or something, or an artist, you have to know how to. Now, you don't have to make your own business, but it'll be beneficial for you, because even if you're undocumented, it will save your life a lot, because you just have to know how to make your business, get money, and eventually either have an investor visa or just move away.
Right.
That's it. Or just pay taxes with an 18 for the rest of your life. That's the only way. Or get a work visa by being in the healthcare program. But there's so many things that you can do, but it all comes into entrepreneurship. The thing is that there has to be a passion for it, because it's hard. It's not super, it's not easy at all. It's hard. But yeah, I love Blackstone. I recommend it a lot outside.
And I love that you mentioned that, because actually right now we've taken like a different shift into like what we're offering to students. Because we know that some students are interested in knowing what entrepreneurship is, but not
Hmm.
necessarily means that they want to do like their own business.
Yes,
So
yes.
what Blackstone is implementing right now is the entrepreneurial mindset, which we're actually going to be teaching some classes to the UNIF
Nice.
1301 students. So if you guys are listening to it, you'll see this in your class. But yeah, it's basically giving students the tools for them to know how to be a leader in whichever industry they decide to follow. So I think it's great and it's exciting. So
Yeah,
thank you.
that's
You,
great.
you heard it from Derek, guys. Go and follow our social medias
Yeah,
and join Blackstone Launchpad.
a lot of competitions, a lot of workshops that you can learn. I mean, come on, they take like the most an hour, and then you learn a lot. And just take it, go home, review it, and how can you monetize this on your own thing? How can I use this for my own benefit, right?
Right.
Like, or even school, like on school. I talk a lot, sorry, but
No.
even in school, for example, in classes, and I used to have a class with him in accounting. I hate accounting. Oh my god, I
Same.
hate it. And I always ask this guy for help, always. But it's one of the most important things in business.
Yes.
But I always say, okay, I don't like it. It's hard, but this is affecting my business too. Like, this is affecting my. That's why I don't have a car. I don't have an apartment. I don't have this. What I need to do to get this? Okay, I need to make my charts right. So it's like, okay, what can I use to my own benefit, even if I don't like it? If I can have a visa to work, what can I do so I can make money out of it? If I don't have a, maybe I can work, but maybe I don't have the time to do it. What can I do? Maybe go to a financial workshop, go to a marketing workshop, go to a business workshop. Why? Because that's gonna help you make money out of it. You don't have to work 8 hours a day. It's cool, but you don't have to. Better if your parents are still with you, take advantage of that. Because, for example, right now I just moved apartments. I got my own apartment, and I thought I was ready. And it's not the money of spending, but I thought I was ready, and I wasn't ready for a bit. It took me time. It took me time. So it's like I need to know how to do things for my own and be able to spend money for what I'm gonna do. My goal. It's not I can do it. It's what am I gonna do to make that thing happen, right? So yeah.
That's great. And just like as a heads up, we are gonna have another pitch competition this
Great.
semester. It's gonna be in like in April 5th, I believe. I'll put it up on screen for sure. Now, another thing, you touched on networking a little bit. Do you want to expand on that? Maybe like how networking has impacted you and your career
Oh
as
yeah,
far?
that's a huge thing for me. Um, when I got into marketing, I didn't know how to network. If you guys can see, still I have my accent, right? Sometimes hard. I may speak pretty fast. I'm just not too used to it, right? So that's a big fear when you want to speak to people. First of all,
Yeah.
not like, oh, I'm it's shy, whatever. No, it's physical. Like, it's my tongue that's not working, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I have to do it. I have to make money. I have to make my parents proud, and I have to do this because I committed, right? And So they sent me to this room of business owners. Ruben sent me, and he was like, "Okay, I need three things for you. I need to tell me at least five people you met. I need you to give me two leads, people that need marketing. I need you to speak to this guy called Hector Garcia. This guy is an owner of an outsourcing company, because he's been trying to get in touch with me, and I haven't been able to get back to him. So I need you to go and touch base with him, okay?" And this thing, I had no idea how to talk to people. I had no idea how to dress. I had no idea what to say. I was just a guy that knew how to sell through the phone. That's it, right? So what I started doing is that he actually helped me. I went to Hector. I was like, "Hey, Hector, how are you?" And I'm like, "Good, good." And I was like, "Okay, so you're Hector, right?" "Yeah, you just mentioned my name." "Oh, and what do you do?" Outsourcing." "Oh, cool. Yeah, cool." Kind of awkward, right? I've always say networking is like dating, right? There has to be something you guys attach with, or have something
Have
similar,
in
right?
common.
And I was like, why does this happen? Right? It's not because I'm shy. It's not because I don't know how to speak. It's not my language. It's just that I didn't prepare. Okay? Simply. So when I used to do phone calls at the law firm, because I used to sell expunctions and non-disclosures, what I used to do in the phone call, and I'll answer your question, don't bear with me. I always say, "Okay, great to meet you, great to talk to you. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever. How you been after we talked to you," right? So I always touch base on how they're going, and then say, "Oh, actually, you know what? I found something that can benefit you," right? Make the offer, and then see what they said, right? It's a simple outline you can do in a phone call. It works in every single person, right? In networking in person, I was like, what I can do is, why don't I just look for something that I like about them, right? I like your blazer, for example. It's really nice. Like, I would like to know, like, where you got it from, right? You could tell me, "I got it from this and that." Really? Do you always use in this type of podcast? "Yeah, I do." "Cool." "Oh, what do you do apart from podcast?" "Oh, I do this and this." Now I know you,
Right.
because I mentioned something from you. And if I smile, you're gonna smile, right? So it's like things, just find something that you like about them, right? Um, Mention something of the industry, right? That you know, and say something that can benefit them, and then do a follow up. "Hey, you know what? I have to go." Even you don't have to go. You say, "I have to go. Um, Let me get your phone number so I can touch base with you, because I want to know more about what you told me." That's like, oh man, he listened to me.
Right.
Maybe I didn't. Maybe I was in a rush. But the sense of, oh, he listened to me and he liked something about me. That's cool. Like, oh, he noticed me. It's gonna make him to like me and remember me, right? Because if I just say, "Oh, what do you do?" "Oh, I do a podcast." Right, cool, cool, yeah, cool. That's it. It's awkward. And if I text you, like, "Oh my god, he's sitting on me," like, no, that's not the case. It's like, "Oh, you know what? Let's. I say you do this, and I have something to do. In the future, we can collaborate. Let me let me present you to someone that can benefit you." You know. So this is a structure that I used to practice and make, and now we hosted a conference with like 600 business owners, and we host at least 2 or 3 networking events a month. And this is all a funnel to get clients, and also to make El Paso get together in businesses, right? So networking is a huge, huge, huge thing. I can see it. It's huge. Right? What's the problem? That they make a networking event and they just throw you, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't have the skill set or the knowledge, you're gonna be afraid to go and talk to people, right? Because you're not used to it. So that's in our company marketing, we marketing hunters, we try to kind of do. And so whenever we make an event, what I do is study every single person, right? And make the industries. Okay, there's real estate, there's manufacturing, there's software, there's all this. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna make my research, right? Okay, just a few things. What's the most important thing happening right now? Um, you can make what do they like? Look at the social media, right? Research. That way you can have something to talk about, right? So I make a research and I connect people. You know what? I actually know a guy that um, does he's a chef and he also does a podcast, right? And he was looking for people that does podcasts, right? So that's like I remember something, right? So That's like, okay, I'm gonna connect with them if I ever see you and him together, right? Oh, you know what? I saw in podcast, so it's getting together people. That's the whole point of us, and that's why they like I like going to our events because it's putting them together, presenting, making group chats, right? Huge thing. If I get to know you and I get to know you, and I think you guys may benefit, or maybe I just want to benefit from you, maybe not him because I know him, right? But what I'm gonna do is making a group chat. Hey, you know what? I see you guys talked a little bit in the event. We should get coffee and see how you can collaborate. Who does that, right? It's something different. One of the things that my boss also taught me is send voice messages. Maybe a text, it's a text. I'll answer later. A phone call, but a voice message. Hey, you know what? It was great talking to you. How can we meet next week? You want to close a deal? Hey, you know what? We talked about this. You may not like it last week when we presented to you. Let's make a follow up and see what we can work on because right now, I mean, I need you to clean my list. So let me know. Great talking to you. Have an amazing day. Always in a positive note, right? So it's things that you can change to get people to remember you, not to know you, remember you. That's why networking is huge, huge because people get to remember you and they're gonna touch base with you eventually.
Derek, you already gave us a lot of like tips, so thank you so much for
No, that's
that.
right. I didn't.
But is there another like advice that you would like to tell our audience about entrepreneurship or anything in general?
Don't think that you are not able to based on your capabilities or based on your knowledge, based on your schedule, based on what you do right now. If you have a make a goal, right? Maybe it's not entrepreneurship. Everything it sells based on me, my perspective, right? Right now, I'm selling myself to you guys. You guys can either love the podcast or you can just ignore it, right? Maybe connect with your story, maybe it doesn't. But I'm selling to people that may have gone through my path, right? Students in UTEP, they want to make entrepreneurship. It is possible, really, really possible, right? So, what can you do first? Set up a goal. Okay? I need to make at least $500 by the end of the month to buy I don't know something for plumbing, right? Or landscape, something, or to sell cases, right? Something. I have a goal. Baking, I love baking. I think there's a huge potential. I don't like it, but I wish I did because there's a huge potential in there. So make a goal. I want to make this. I need to make this sort of money, and I need, and then you can start doing your stats and how much you have to sell, all that stuff. Right? There's always a way, right? There's always a way. Once you have your goal, find a way. Thousands of ways. Don't say that you can't because of your story. I saw this post that's like I think you've seen it too. If you look at my account, because they posted a lot, it says, "I have a sad story too. No one cares. Work harder."
Right.
That's the truth, right? I like you guys, but I'm not gonna have the drive as much drive as you guys do for your own self, right? You you're gonna have to take care of yourself first, right? So don't say that there's no way because there's a way. If I was undocumented and I had no way to get money and I didn't get money and I was waiting, if I knew I was gonna have to wait 11 years, I would have gone out with Juarez, like that, right? But I didn't, and I had to wait, find ways, found a way, waited more, get money, study a lot, read a lot, go through school. I was able to be blessed now, and now that I'm blessed, I want to help people because I know what they went through, right? And if I was able to do it, you can do it too. Because I don't like school. I don't like. I don't like. It's not that I don't like learning. It's just the. I get so frustrated. Like I'm like, okay, I need to. Okay, I learned something. I need to do it now. Like that's me. That's why I don't like school. Because I'm like, I need to do it now. So just run through the process, right? And even if you don't like doing something, learn how to do it because eventually there's gonna be someone that has is way more ambitious and you're just gonna take over. It's like a business, right? If I don't sell this client, someone's gonna take over eventually. Either I just text him, hey, you want it or not, or I leave with that person alone and someone else gonna do it and they're gonna buy from them, right? We're all consumers, right? We're all students. We're all people that want to have have a good life, right? So read a lot, um, find a mentor, right? Find that's the last thing I'm gonna say. Find a mentor. Um, I'm not saying someone to babysit you, someone to say, okay, do your homework. No, no. It's someone that you look up to, right? Someone that you look up to and say, what can I do so I can be, not be like him, but to earn what he earns right now? What did he do, right? And I did this in LinkedIn a lot, actually, and study, check what they did and stuff. So find a mentor that way you can have a guidance and that can set up your goals, right? And set up tasks because you, as long as you set up a task, it's like SOPs, right? It's you can say, oh my god, I was productive today. If I put make $100, find 5 leads, text 100 people, post on social media, go to class, finish 2 homeworks, and get ahead. That's a whole 24-hour goal. And when you put those check marks, it feels amazing because next day it's gonna be more and more and more, and that's progress. Top 1% always, right? So that's all I have.
Love it. And I am a firm believer that like the universe or life or however you want to call it always
Yes.
puts you the people that you need in your life. And I think that what you just said right now helps me and like in a position that I am currently. So thank
I'm
you.
glad.
Thank you so much. And I know the audience is gonna like feel the same way. So
Hopefully.
thank you. And yes, Derek, thank you so much for once again for accepting our invitation. It was truly an honor to have you in this
No, it's my
episode.
pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes, of
Great
course.
to see you, man.
Yeah,
Always.
great to
Now
see
it's
you
a class
too.
to hear if we can say that, right?
That's amazing, classmates. Studio G, the Blackstone Launchpad, and the Magloria Center for Innovation and Commerce wants to thank you, our listeners, for your constant support.
Stay tuned for our upcoming episodes and remember to always
Mind your business.